Podcast, policy about domestic violence. Maybe you should make that public. Maybe you
Mic check,
Mike, check.
mic check,
Mike, check.
mic check.
Mike, check.
So, welcome to West Wednesday. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to West Wednesday. This is week 500. This is week 537. Thank you guys for tuning in online, and thank you guys for being out here tonight. Sorry we started up late, but just happy to be back outside and happy to be right back here on Green Mountain 33rd. I'm not happy for the reasons that we have to be out here, but just glad that we're back, boots on the ground outside. Anyway, on Monday was a year commemoration for Tyree Moorhead that was gunned down, executed, shot 14 times, killed by Baltimore City police officer. And it's sad, like we never heard no more. We saw this man execution on like live video, and he wasn't doing anything wrong. They gave him stupid commands. He had a weapon in his hand, not a gun, some type of whatever it was. But long story short, he was just doing whatever they were saying doing. And as he's going to the ground, they told him get down on the ground. They never said drop the weapon and then get down on the ground. They told him to get down on the ground. And as he's going to get down on the ground, they gunned him down. And then you see this killer cop, this maniac, standing up there pretty much ready to put a second clip in to finish Tyree Moorhead off. Like this is disgusting. And we know the history. We know the history that this particular officer was pretty much stalking him before he murdered him, showing up at his house. And just to let you guys know who Tyree Moorhead was, he was the man that he started the no shoot zone, and he was advocating for people to stop killing each other in the streets and for him to be gunned down like that. And the interesting part, they killed him at the first site that he started this no shoot zone. So we have to really look at the stuff that's going on, like the racist stuff that's strategically done. It's no coincidence that he was murdered, gunned down in such a fashionable sense as they start to watching him, doing Facebook lives and pulling out and being knowledgeable of his rights as a black man, standing up and was not had no fear of them. And I don't care what bickering he was doing with his neighbors or bickering, he might have been bickering with you, but no one deserves to be brutally murdered or executed in the way he was, and for them to leave us with no answers, nothing. And just like we don't hear about that. And then to see such a horrible act to a black man and a black community member and literally taking you back to that summer when he had gotten shot and we don't even know because he was almost killed. He literally got off his deathbed. He had a bullet wound in his neck and other places, but he felt like he kept feeling the police coming to kill him. That's what he kept on saying. He made a rap about it. He was actually talking about them murdering him, and it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna put negative energy in the atmosphere. He knew the threats and the retaliation was real. And then when he went and left the hospital, he took the news crews with him, and they were actually illegally raiding his house. Never found anything because he never was arrested, but they were actually raiding his house, and he talked about that, holding his wound. So I said all this to say, and that's why I opened up West Wednesday talking about our beloved brother that was murdered, gunned down in broad daylight. And see what they do is they study us, they watch us, and they wait for that perfect moment for you to slip up. And because he carried his machete with him, if you talk about it, he never threatened no one with it, but because he carried his machete with him, and sometimes you will see it visual on Facebook Live, things of that nature, or when he was in his home with his family, they used that against him, and that was the way for them to say, hey, we're going to murder this young man. In the same way that they murdered Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray did never even pull out no weapon. They trying to say, oh, he had a pocket knife. First of all, you didn't know what the hell he had in his pockets until you murdered him, and then you try to make stuff fit, and then you start going in his pockets or probably planting stuff. He might have planted that. It gives me planning vibes. It gives me planning vibes. It gives me the same vibes that you did to Keith Davis Jr. when you tried to execute him and this man survived. It gives me Keith Davis Jr. vibes. So I said all that to say we need to keep our eyes on this dirty system. This dirty system. And right now, a lot of stuff is happening right before our eyes. And we're not paying attention to it. We're paying attention to the television that pretty much guides our minds to the way they want us to, what they want us to focus on. And their main focus, especially Fox 40 lies. They want us to focus on the juveniles in the car theft. That's all you hear all day long. Juvenile laws, but you don't hear anything about these laws that cover these killer cops. You don't hear anything. You want to talk about reform, you want to talk about changing laws. Why is anybody talking about the officers? I call it killer rights, but the officer bill of rights. They don't want to talk about that. But over and over again, they keep talking about, oh, these juveniles have all these rights, and they get the, that's why we can't get our cases done because they have to have their parents around while they're in their lawyer. You want to, first of all, make it make sense. Why would you want to question anybody's child without the parent around? Knowing children are vulnerable children, going to fantasy land, children, you can intimidate children real bad and make them believe that you guys are trained liars. Anybody knows that any police or interrogator officer is a trained liar. They're trained to make you believe that they have you so that they way they can get you. So why would you have that type of pressure on a kid? But again, the news is not telling you to focus on the officer killer rights that pretty much lets these killer cops get off. And guess what? They get 30 days that they can come and get an interview, not interrogated, but have their attorney with them. And then I don't know if you guys know, they have three chances to get their lives together. Because two of them they get to talk about, and then the third one after they craft it and master it, make it fit, is the one that they take, and that's their Bible. That's the one that they keep. So change those laws. Y'all want about our juveniles, change those laws. And I'm tired of them using the parents. Like parents, y'all need to stop letting them use us. Like stop it. Control your own child because they not here to save you. They here to exploit your child and they here to kill your damn child. We need to take our own damn kids back. Ain't nobody coming to save them babies but us. I wish mine would. Okay? And I know what it feels like to be a single mom because guess what? You're looking at them. And I did very good. And I'm not trying to judge nobody or say somebody should raise their kids or do what I do to raise mine. But guess what? It starts out as ground rules. This is what's going to happen, and this is what's not going to happen. You cannot let your children manipulate you into doing anything. Because then, once they get out of control, it's hard to grab them back from these streets. The streets are bloody, dangerous, and dirty. And out there are the corrupt politicians, the corrupt killer cops. All this corruption is out there waiting for our babies. And it's disgusting. And then to learn that another person was killed this week by the police. I don't have any details, but no one's talking about that. They're not talking about that. All you hear is, oh, they breaking their cars, they doing this, teenagers are doing this thing. What about these grown ass men and women and these dirty cops? I ain't never seen a baby on as a cop. They all grown men and women. That's out of control. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about their corruption. Y'all want to talk about laws and talk about let's get rid of the law officer bill of rights. That's the first thing we need to get rid of. Y'all trying to get rid of children rights. You want a baby to go get questioned, interrogated by trained liars, trained killers. But then you don't have that energy when a grown man that done murdered somebody, grown men and women that done beat somebody down, that held somebody's family hostage, raided somebody's house illegally. You don't have that same energy when you let them take 30 days to bring their attorney down there. You don't say anything about that. And then you get all these racist people or these house Negroes Fox 40 lies to back y'all theory. Yes, absolutely. So again, we need to keep our eyes on what's going on. That's what I want to talk about tonight. And meanwhile, women are being lynched, hung from trees, and then they're saying, oh, and it's happening a lot in the South, y'all. It's happening so much, and they're making it seem like it's normal. They make it seem like, oh, this one woman who car literally 3 miles away, they found this lady car vandalized and gas poured all over it. And then they found her body hanging from a tree, half dressed. And they want us to believe, and instantly, not 48 hours, within 24 hours, they came back and said, oh, it looks like she killed. You didn't even investigate. They don't investigate. That's what I want to talk about. They don't do no investigation. That's just something for them to cover their asses. Let's be crystal clear. Sorry for the potty word, but it's for them to cover up. That's all. Cover their foolishness. That's what it's for. And I'm just thinking about when my brother was murdered and they were saying they was going to do a thorough investigation. I believe that foolishness just a little bit because I thought that, okay, this is not like my brother was killed in an alley where no one was around. This happened in broad daylight in the summertime at 7 o'clock. This happened then. And people had cell phone video footage and everything. But yet you guys covered it up. You didn't investigate anything. All you did was regurgitated what the killer cop said. Nothing about none of the witnesses. And we had over 32 witnesses, but you discredit half of them. And the other half, you humiliated. You tried to get them to change their story. You kept taking them down. You had them under siege. They couldn't get in and out their house. And you treated elderly people. Meanwhile, we talking about 10 years ago. And nobody justice delayed is justice denied. And you still delaying the damn process. I don't have a hope, a prayer, and believing that this system is really going to do something for me and my family. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Yeah, we can make it, but I don't believe it. You're not going to mind screw me like that. Even if we force your hand, and that's what we're doing because you see, this is consistency. That is fine. We've been out here through hell and hot water, and we're still here, literally. And before my brother was murdered, there was Anthony Anderson that was murdered right in front of his mother on his granddaughter's birthday. A day that's supposed to be happy and joyous, this baby has to look at as a mark of death, a mark of sadness, a mark of hurt. And sometimes the ones that survive blame themselves. Like I blamed myself for the longest until I knew better. I blame my vehicle, like, oh my goodness, it was too flashy. No, I know better. A killer is going to be a killer. A predator is a predator. Doesn't matter if you have on a short mini skirt with your boobs out. No one has the right to violate you. No one. No matter what you're doing. Even if you're doing something wrong, no one has the right. They're not the judge, jury, or the executioner. Half of the crimes that they're saying that people or that die over, it don't even make it to court. They're throwing that foolishness out. But you're killing people on the street. You bring a death to them on the street for traffic tickets. You're not coming out with a traffic book. You're coming out with weapons ready to kill. Ready to kill. And that is disgusting. But we can talk about this all day long. Talking is not going to do anything. But in the same breath, and I don't mean to sound contradictory, it is doing something because it's letting people know do not stand for what these people are doing. Stand up for your family members. Be that voice. Even if your family don't support you, if they're intimidated or whatever, you be that voice. Because change will come. I don't know when it's going to come, but I think the biggest change is going to come when this capitalist system gets knocked down and devoured. That's when it's going to come. That's when it's going to come. Until then, it's just going to keep playing us. Until then, our lives mean nothing. We get up every day, we work and slave. We spend most of our life just working like slaves, working to keep a roof over our head. Half of us robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then they wonder why people are carjacking and doing foolishness. When it's a simple fix, get rid of the capital dollars. Let everybody have the same pursuit of happiness. People just want to eat, live, and survive and be happy. Why is it so hard? Why is people judged by their skin color? We're hated when we're in the womb. That is disgusting to me. And again, we was at City Hall week after week, and guess what? Council President Mosley never apologized, and I don't think that he ever will. But what he did was dangerous, it was treacherous, and it was dirty. He said some vicious lies out and pretty much compared us to some insurrectionists, some killers, some murderers that went into a capital to terrorize and went into a capital and with blood on their mind. They knew when President Trump gave that order that hit, he told them stand up, stand back, or whatever he said, it was clear until he gave his little okay. And when he nodded his head or whatever he did, once he gave his okay for those killers, those maniacs, to do something that we would never do. We can't even peacefully protest in front of the Capitol without them being on top of the roof, sharpshooters, looking at our damn protest signs. Are you freaking kidding me? And Nick, you want to compare us to that? Shame on you. I hope you get what's coming to you. You are the terrorist. You are the terrorist. You're a bully. And you will not bully us. You're a coward, Nick. That's what you are, a coward. You did a cowardly act. You threw stones and hit your face. But guess what? We're going to see you again. We're going to see you again. And you reap what you sow. So you need to do your homework. Look at the history of everybody that did dirty stuff towards the West Coalition and the West family. They dropping like flies, Nick, including your wife. Oops, your ex. Oops. Yeah. Karma is something else. Has nothing to do with religion. Has nothing to do with anything. It's something all the only thing it has to do with is how you treat people. It comes back to you. I don't care how, but it comes back to you. It really does. And I'm trying to see what it's motorcycle, but anyway. But it comes back to you. So I'm gonna do a mic check. Mic check. What is that? Good evening, everybody. I'm Nicole Pettiford. I am the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson. I am the mother of Ajay Harod. And I've been coming to West Wednesday for at least the last 5 years, trying to get, accountability for my loved ones. It is really sick and disgusting that we have to be out here this long to try to get some type of accountability for the things that has happened to our family members. And we're not the only ones. We might not be out here in droves and stuff. It might not be thousands of us, but trust me, it's thousands of us that are suffering through this. You know, we need to do something about this. We really, really need to stand together and shut this government down because that's the only way that we are going to be able to take our power back. See, these police officers, a lot of them were bullied in school. They didn't really have friends and stuff. So they join the police department so they can try to be known and trying to be seen. And they get power, like she said. And they hide behind those badges and those guns because they are cowards. And because nobody would listen to them no other kind of way. And then you go home and you have problems at home or somebody that pissed you off and you come out here and you take it out on our family members and stuff out on the street. But that's fine for y'all to do. But if I have a bad day and I come out here and I harass one of y'all, either I'm going to end up in a cage or I'm going to end up 6 feet deep. It don't make no sense, and it needs to stop. We're human beings and our lives and our family lives matter just as much as y'all's do. Yeah, y'all want to go home at night to your families, but what about our families coming home to us? We're never going to get that opportunity again to see our loved ones because of the things that y'all did. It's sick and disgusting. They need to do a better outcome with these police officers. They need to do extensive background checks. Need to do mental health checks and see what these cops' minds are and see what's really going on with them. Because I should not have to suffer and be out here on the corner in the cold trying to get accountability for my family members because you was having a bad day. Make that make sense to me. And here it is, Tawanda Jones has been out here for 537 weeks trying to get accountability for her brother Tyrone West. And y'all act like that he doesn't matter. Y'all act like y'all don't care. But let it be y'all. Let it be one of your family members. And see the results that you will get. It doesn't make any sense. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's how I feel about the situation. And we're going to fight, and we're going to continue to fight until all of this mess is cleared up because I'm sick of it. I am tired of talking about people getting killed on a regular, just doing regular things, all because you were having a bad day. Now, 9 times out of 10, you're somewhere lurking around, watching what I'm saying and what I'm doing, but somebody down the street getting robbed or somebody getting murdered, and you ain't going down there taking care of that. You're so busy about a peaceful protest, people trying to get accountability for their loved ones, people who are hurting, people who thought that y'all will be the ones that protect and serve us, but you don't. You protect and serve yourselves. It's sick and disgusting, and it needs to stop, y'all. And I'm not going to stop until I don't have any breath in my body. We all we got, we all we need.
Let's go.
My check!
I want to talk about the police killing yesterday. I was poking around today just to try and find some information because as of yesterday they hadn't released the name, but the name was released today. And what I really want to point out about it is, before I get into the details, is that it really feels that they have a script that they follow, and it just gets handed out. This is what you say. This is what you say in front of the media. This is our press release or whatever. And all they do is change the name, the location, whatever. Because there are details about this that sound exactly like the Makai Franklin case. And if you notice, Makai didn't die, thank God. But if you notice, you haven't heard shit about that story. You have not heard anything. No follow-up, nothing. Don't know if they're charging that young man with anything. Don't know, if they're charging the cop with anything. Don't know what's going on with that case. So David Collins from WBAL, I'm calling you out because you're the one that does all these stories because now you're the I-team person since Jane Miller retired. You go out there and you're digging up this new victim's arrest record and all this stuff. You're doing their dirty work for them. Because this is the same shit they do in every single police brutality case. They try and demonize the victim. And that incident yesterday was the district action team. District action team is rebranded GTTF. You're not ever going to convince any of us any different. It's rebranded GTTF. They're doing the same exact tactics. So when they say, oh, we had a gun with extended magazine, you know what? You said the same shit with Makai Franklin. You said the same thing for the guy that they killed up by Patterson Park. You said the same thing for countless others. So we don't trust your narrative because we know you have a script you follow. I swear, if you go and you look up all the different news broadcasts of all the police killings, you could probably overlap them and get some of the same exact verbiage verbatim from victim to victim to victim to victim. The only thing is the location and the name changes. So yeah, we don't trust the media. We don't trust the cops. I just want to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. So the man that was murdered, his name is 27 years old. His name was Hunter Jessup. So apparently they claim, oh, he looked like he had a gun. Same as Makai Franklin. Same as all of the victims, pretty much. Oh, he looked like he had a gun. So then they start, huh?
Second story.
Yeah. So Dan is saying, he's off camera, but he's saying that, the first version of the story was, oh, they just saw somebody that they wanted to talk to. And then the second version of the story now is, oh, he looked like he was carrying a weapon and they wanted to stop him. So now tell me this doesn't sound like GTTF jump out boys. There's 6 officers on the scene. 6. Seis for you in Spanish. 6 officers. One of them jumped out of a vehicle and tried to quote unquote tackle him, and they wound up falling into somebody's stoop. And when he fell into the stoop, 5 other officers opened fire. This is a residential area, row homes. The whole entire block is row homes, and they are indiscriminately, 5 of them, shooting their guns at this person in front of people's houses. Cars driving by. It was 12:30 in the afternoon. 5 officers opened fire. They had that scene locked down because I'm telling you, you should have seen all the evidence markers. How many bullets they unleashed, and I don't know how many hit him, but where'd the other ones go?
50 evidence markers.
50 evidence markers. Where'd the other ones go? Do they even track that? Do they ever go and see? Did one of them go through somebody's window, somebody's door? They don't know. They just indiscriminately are going down a residential neighborhood, row homes, not even a break in the row homes, a whole flipping city block of row homes, indiscriminately, 5 of them shooting at this man. So witnesses on the scene, though, are claiming that they're lying because they claim right after they shot him, they started rendering aid. Witnesses on the scene are like, no, they didn't. They let him lay there. And then some of them said, I watched him take his last breath and nobody was rendering aid. So, yeah, sounds like Michael Brown, right? Sound like Tyrone West. Sound like George Floyd. They weren't rendering aid. They were letting him die because they don't want another Keith Davis Jr. They don't want another Makai Franklin. Somebody who survived their brutality. So his name is not on our list yet because the list that we're reading later is only up until November 2nd. So, but I'm sure it'll be included in the future, but I wanted to make sure that his name is known. 27-year-old Hunter Jessup. And, it's really sickening because the media really thinks that the public is stupid. That, like, they should start each police brutality story with, stop me if you think you've heard this one before. Because they would never have to utter a word because we've heard it all before. We've heard, oh, he looked like he had a gun. Oh, we wanted to just talk to him and he ran. Oh, he had a gun with an extended magazine. Oh, we thought that he shot the officer that fell into the stoop, so they just indiscriminately opened fire. 5 people. Can you imagine 5 people shooting at you? Can you imagine? And even if, say he did have a gun, who's to say he wasn't surrendering, whatever, you know? Because when the guy missed tackling him, or supposedly missed tackling him, maybe he turned around like, what the hell was that? You know, like, we don't know. And they're never going to release the whole entire body camera footage. They're going to edit it. They're going to make it fit their narrative. They're going to do all that shit. We know this. Like, we've been through this countless freaking times. We haven't heard about Mekhi Franklin, and we have not heard about even Tyree Nichols. We haven't heard anything about that investigation. He didn't have a gun. That was on video all over the place. So, not Tyree Nichols. Tyree Moorhead, I'm sorry. Tyree Moorhead, hometown. I was out of state for a second. Tyree Moorhead, sorry. Same name, different last name. So yeah, we haven't heard anything about Tyree Moorhead. Like, nothing. And my thing is like, you know, are y'all gonna justify that? Because you justify it all the time. They justify it all the time. This is why, I'll be completely honest, I went for a job at the Police Accountability Board, and I'm glad that they didn't even consider me, because probably because I keep getting put out of like City Hall and protesting down there. But they're just another tool in a toothless monster. A toothless monster for accountability, because what they call accountability is bullshit. There is no accountability. We've yet to see accountability. Throwing money at people is not accountability. Putting killer cops in cell blocks is accountability. Making them sit through a freaking trial and be found guilty of murder, that's accountability. That's accountability. So you could call yourself the Police Accountability Board all you want, the Civilian Review Board, you're all just gums, no teeth. No teeth. And then they want to go out there and say, oh, we're not being funded right, and we're not this, that, or the other. They're just making excuses. They supposedly reviewed over 400 freaking cases since June, and they found that, oh, guess what? Internal affairs findings weren't always accurate, weren't always valid, and that they would have had different findings. Okay, now what? You ain't gonna do shit about it. You ain't gonna get the case reopened. Whatever internal affairs says sticks. So where are your teeth? I don't want to work for some bullshit like that. So I'm glad y'all didn't call me, because seriously, it's impotent. It's impotent. What we're doing out here and what we've been doing for years it's more impactful than the joke shit that they put in place just to keep people like us quiet. Well, guess what? We ain't quiet, and we're not going anywhere. Because not until we get accountability, for real. And then, you know, y'all should take the name accountability out of your name. Just call yourselves the Police Enabling Board. Change it to an E. Be a PEB. Be Pebbles, PEB. Because you're the enabling board. Just like the judges enable, just like the state's attorneys enable, just like your superior really enables, going out there, same script, different day, different name, different location. So, rest in power, Hunter Jessup, and all of the victims of police brutality. Mic check. Mic check. Sure. I want to say something real quick, and I'm gonna pass it to Bob. But I want us to really find out who Rhonda was, because I really feel like when people have dirt on the police department, that's when they come execute. So just like Tyree, boy, he had dirt on them. He executed them. So I just really want to know, like, we need to really find out his family, find out, you know, what was his connection. But I honestly smell bread. And then another thing before I forget, I'm gonna pass it to Brian. When we talk about the civilian review board, now we talk about accountability board, but it was the civilian review board. And I remember when Jill Carter was running it,
and she was having tea because she was the one that started talking about Keith David Jr. how there they was to him. And as soon as she did that, they snatched her. They snatched her off of that board. And then it was another guy on there that really had teeth, and he didn't like it. They let him go. So they don't want. Let's be clear. They do not want people that's going to make real change. They want bootlickers on their team to pretend like they're doing something. It's a bluff. That's what it is. It's a bluff. And like my sister said, I feel as though they like gummy bears, like no teeth. Just call them gummy bears. Like gummies and gummies. Like you don't think gonna do nothing. Gummies. And then there's a lot of weird stuff happening. Like we got an airplane circling us. Helicopter, sorry. A helicopter circling us.
They don't even have the searchlight on. They're just
So just
circling.
yeah, the circling us. Then we had a guy riding up on a motorcycle all the way up here. Then we had like two cars speed like so. That's what I say right here is real power. When they gotta do stuff like that, it's helicopter. We not making this up. Don't be passing to my brother. Mic check.
I just want to talk about Mr. Jessup. We always hear, oh well, he had a gun, he had his weapon, he did this, he did that, and we had to kill him. On the same day, I think it was the same day. I don't know for sure. Maybe the next day, but in Germany, a fellow got in his car with his daughter and his rifle and drove down to the airport and started shooting things. Started shooting into the air in the airport, and so the German police came and they closed the airport down for 18 hours, and they got a Turkish interpreter, and they talked to the man in his native language for 18 hours, and he surrendered, and no one was harmed. And so this is not something that has to occur. This occurs because it's the way that the police want to make it happen, and there's no other. When people say, "Oh, well, it's this sort of thing is unavoidable," it's not unavoidable. It's a plan. And I also want to talk real quickly about this Saturday at Nomu Nomu on Howard Street. There's going to be a solidarity social fighting for food justice in Sandtown. It's going to be a Strength to Love Farm, Baltimore Community Food. There's going to be a DJ and some spoken word performances. And that's this Saturday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And if anybody needs an actual physical reminder, I can give you this one. But I just wanted to put that out there. So, mic check.
Before I pass the mic, because I don't want to forget what I was going to say, but I was just thinking, like my brother, just to piggyback off what he said about they can arrest who they want to, stand up, shut stuff down. Let's be clear. Less than a year ago, when a white man went on a rampage, he shot at officers and everything, shot his family members up, and they shut literally down there. What was the name of the area where they was having them hot? Boston. They had that whole. They closed schoolyard county. They closed school. They shut everything down. And to this day, this white suspect does not have a scratch, and he was literally shooting at. They shot it off duty to take. Like I'm talking about shooting, like real life. Can't make this up. Where was that same energy at? So I don't want to hear that foolishness about he had a Glock, he had a gun, he had a cell phone, he had a. I don't want to hear none of that foolishness. My check.
This system is by design. If you look at that T-shirt that Reggie got on, it's about the murder and the death of everybody here. You know what I'm saying? That's not Tyrone West, but you're killing us like you can compare us to Palestinians, and that's why I share in that struggle. You know what I'm saying? You're killing black people in America for over 400 years with no regress, no recourse. In the 1920s, they did the movie The Birth of a Nation. And that's just the same thing as they uprising that they had on January the 6th. It's this indiscriminate disrespect toward human life, our human life. You feel me? Yeah. It don't matter if Donald Trump in office or President Biden in office. If you black in America, you still fucked. It don't matter. It's like who driving the bus? Because they're driving over us. Tyrone West was killed by Morgan State University officer, and Morgan State got shootings on their campus that they say that they need more police when your police is in our communities. So if you're talking about Palestine, look at the militarization of our communities with these over policing. You got John Hopkins University getting ready to get these guns that shoot 40 in a magazine. What the fuck do you need guns like that in a school or a hospital? John Hopkins University don't have no shoot. They don't have those kind of problems. You got more police. This is what you did. You took Hyatt. Hyatt was the commander down in Baltimore City. You took Hyatt and made Hyatt the commissioner at John Hopkins University for like 6 months. That Hyatt and her husband was there. All right, then you move Hyatt to Baltimore County to solidify you having police from Baltimore City all the way to Baltimore County. You got them at Towson University. You got them at Morgan State. You got them at Towson State. So who are you policing? Because the only police, like you say, is they talk about the news every day. The carjackings, the this, the that. They just demonize black people. Ivan Bates got in office because of the squeegee board kids. Because Fox 45 was beating the squeegee board kids. That's how Ivan Bates got in office. He said he's going to make sure that black people go to jail. Bottom line. Yeah. All right? You want to bring Sheila Dixon back. And Sheila Dixon was the catalyst to stop risking zero tolerance. Sheila Dixon locked up more black people in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And then when I say something, I'm the crazy guy. Y'all charge me with terror. And all I did is shit on you. Dog, you have no idea what I'm going to do to you in the future. I'm going to bound your Achilles heel. Your Achilles heel is the truth and to be confronted with the truth in public space. I do that shit very well. I set the standard for that. The only thing between me and the media is air and opportunity. And y'all see when I say shut it down, take your live feeds inside and push the propaganda somewhere else. If Tawanda Jones don't give you permission to show something, she will tell you. They're not permitted around here on these streets. Now tonight you got more police, you got the helicopters flying around. You're trying to I guess victimize our protest. No, we're gonna be here till we can't breathe no more. We're gonna be here till we can't breathe. Because we can't breathe when y'all around. So like I said, the only thing between me and you is air and opportunity. 2023, you better suck that shit up.
You want to say something, Uncle Bill? And I just wanted to let you know that idiot officer rolled past with his lights flashing on us and everything. Like we popping our head tonight. That's what I'm talking about. This is the type of stuff I like. This is what I live for.
The helicopter don't even have the searchlight
Yeah,
on.
don't
They were
have
just doing that to
searchlight on.
create
That's what I'm saying.
noise.
This is what I live for. The
Oh, did he see this?
I hope so.
I hope to show
You
them.
might want to have us do a new chant. I don't think we've done before. How do you spell racist? BPD. How do you spell racist? BPD. How do you spell racist? BPD. And now I'd like to internationalize it a little with one of the chants that was very widespread this past Saturday in Washington in the demonstration against genocide in Gaza, which is, by the way, the Israeli army. It's called the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. How do you spell racist? IDF. How do you spell racist? IDF. How do you spell racist? IDF. Now, imagine this is Israel, and over here we've got Gaza, where they're committing genocide. And over here on the other side, we've got the West Bank, which is not at war at the moment. It's a Palestinian area, although more and more settlers are moving in and taking their land. And during the current war, those who are one to a racist point of view among the settlers have been indiscriminately beating up, terrorizing, and shooting and killing people that live, Palestinian people that live in the West Bank. And what do the cops do? And what does the IDF do? They turn the other way and give a green light. And so the racism and police brutality indirectly in the West Bank now is very much like here. And I think it's helpful to understand, as Tawanda often says, it's a worldwide problem. It's not just a U.S. problem. I want to say a few more words about the recent police killing in Baltimore of Hunter Jessup, just in the recent days. Dino already said a lot, but there are a couple of things I want to add. His brother's name is Javelin Nolly. Javelin Nolly. So one of the things he said, in speaking to journalists after the event, after the killing, he said they harass us 24/7. This is every day. Yep. And he also said, if I can find it here, wait a minute.
Same thing they did to my friend.
He said that his brother, Hunter Jessup, was unarmed. Now, we don't know the whole story, but that's what he said. And he said his brother, the one that they killed, was a stand-up guy. Those are his words exactly. He was a stand-up guy. And then a neighbor was out there, heard the shooting and came out. His name is Khalil Hardy. And he said, in terms of the gun that the police supposedly recovered, he said, that was not his. That was not his. So I wanted to mention those things. And then I want to talk also about another case. In 2019, in a town called McLean, 2019 in Colorado, thank you. An unarmed young man named Elijah McClain was killed by a number of police. Here you see him playing his violin. He also played guitar. He used to play violin for the Cats. He used to like the, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it was a little picture. I don't think you see it too well anyway. Sorry. So he was going home from a convenience store. Sounds reminiscent of the case in Florida with the young man with the Skittles, right? He was walking home from a convenience store, and somebody called 911 and said he looked sketchy. He looked sketchy. So 3 cops have been charged with the murder. The first one was acquitted a while ago. The second one was acquitted last week. And his name was, that cop who was just acquitted was named Woodyard. Woodward. And he put Elijah McClain in something called a carotid hold. The carotid arteries are the ones that take blood up to your brain and your neck. He put him in a carotid hold, and Elijah went unconscious. Short while after that, the medics arrived, and that cop refused to tell the medics that he had a difficulty with respiratory function because of having been in that carotid hold. So the people that arrived from the medics gave him this powerful sedative.
Ketamine.
Powerful sedative, ketamine. And he ended up dying a few days later in the hospital. And this cop, they put him in that hold. And then he even admitted during the trial, this is Cop Wood, he admitted that he violated police department policy by failing to de-escalate and by failing to tell the paramedics about McCain's respiratory distress. They acquitted him. So at the trial was one of the local activists. His name is Midian Holmes. And afterward, Midian Holmes said, people keep talking about the system is changing, and I don't believe any of that. It's like the point Tawanda made earlier tonight. We hope to get accountability for Tyrone and thousands of other victims of police murder. But who knows under this system if we're going to succeed? We may not. And this guy, Holmes, the community activist at the Colorado trial of that cop Woodyard, said people keep talking about the system is changing, and I don't believe any of that. Unfortunately, I think that man is right. Mic check.
And I just really want to thank Uncle Bill and Adina for literally pointing out facts, like sticking out facts that we don't know about, that you're never going to turn on Fox 40 Lies and they're saying all these wonderful facts. And, not wonderful, but the facts that, the person that they murdered didn't deserve that. You will never hear that. And it's just sad and disgusting. And I don't believe it's changing. And I just heard something. I really haven't gotten the information, and I want to get more information. But I heard like a lot of stuff is happening right now in Atlanta, and I thank God I was able to free my nephew from Atlanta. But when they went to go protest Cop City, like they're bringing major charges and protests. I mean, stuff charges you never heard of, charges that they should be throwing on these killer cops. They doing it just people that's been on to try to stop our voices. And then you see how real it was tonight. They sent the motorcycle, they sent the helicopter, they sent the vehicle. They had a couple of unmarked cars over there in the gas station. I peeped it all out. I peeped it all out. And I'm glad that my brother showed up. I haven't seen this one, I don't even know his name, but I remember before when we were doing a peaceful protest right here in the storm. And I remember he threw a snowball at me. And all I could say was, really? And I remember the West family wanted to beat the black off of. I'm just going to be honest and transparent. And I told them, no, we're not going to entertain foolishness. And I stopped it. I said, that means we're winning. And then after that, he showed up, he apologized. He never said who sent them. But that was just like, bro, who sent you? But you gonna throw a snowball at me like we kids? I was like, did that snowball come? Like it's a brush fast. Like it ain't touching, but it's just a lot of weird stuff be happening. But when the weird stuff happening, that shows that we are powerful. That shows this is why we're out here. So if you think you're going to intimidate us with that, that literally gets me excited. The way y'all get excited about killing us, and y'all get y'all little hearts on y'all sick mind. I got a sick mind too. That gets me excited when y'all try to retaliate. That gets me excited because I don't give a damn about that. I'm not scared of y'all. Y'all did the worst when you killed our loved one. You did the worst when you went up in my sister's house and held her family under siege. You did the worst when you killed my sister father-in-law and then her daughter get murdered 2 weeks later. Y'all already done did that. So y'all need to just realize we're not going anywhere. Doesn't matter who lie on us, sick Nick, you can keep lying on us. But you're gonna reap what you sow. You're gonna reap what you sow. And I expect when they drag you all up against the news and all that, I'm gonna be the first one out there laughing at you. And I don't wish bad stuff on nobody, but mark my word, he's gonna reap what he sow. You might got a chance if you apologize and make it right. Clear your conscience, clear your soul, if you have one. But if you don't trust me, you're gonna reap what you sow. And they just gonna wash you up. You see what they doing to your wife, your ex-wife. You see exactly what they're doing.
Gone by November, you be gone by November.
You're gonna slam by November. So yeah. Ain't that
Don't get
true?
comfortable.
Don't get comfortable. Don't get cozy. So anyway, do anybody want to add or say anything before we go to our sad list? Anybody want to add or say anything? All right, this was interesting. This is why I love being outside. Like you can't make this stuff up. We ain't get none of this action down at Poopy Hole. It was so dry. The bird. The most exciting thing we saw was the rats. And I'm talking about both sides. The big rats out the street and the rats that was coming up. That's the only excitement we saw. I thought I was at Chuck E. Cheese with all the rats. But anyway, yeah, the biggest. Walking out of there. But anyway, this was a fun night, guys. You gotta make the best out of this so you won't lose your mind, get caught up. All right, so now I'm gonna read our all right. It is the mission of the West Coalition to work for accountability for Tyrone West and all the victims of police brutality. We believe that there is a connection between police brutality and community violence. Police can use de escalation strategies to diffuse situations without necessarily using force, and we encourage community members to resolve disputes without violence. We care deeply about those families impacted by police brutality and community violence. We seek to uplift names of their loved ones from a place of respect and care. We obtained the list names of those shot and killed by police and those lost to community violence from national and local news outlets. We know that these are by no means exhausted lists and that gun violence isn't the only way a person are murdered. I'm sorry, the way people are murdered. We do not obtain detailed information about circumstances surrounding each of these deaths or people who died. By reading these names, we are not condoning violent behaviors on any part of anyone involved in the situation. We don't condone violence. Sick Nick. And his name ain't Jim. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm getting caught out in Nick foolishness. Oh, I'm just like, he has not apologized and he put out deadly lies. And I don't care if we're in front of Poopy Hall or Greenmount, wherever we at, we're going to tell how you lied on us. That was disgusting. So right now, we're going to take 2 minutes if you guys don't mind. 2 minutes, even though 2 minutes is not enough. But if you into prayer, if you want to say a prayer for the 2 minutes that we show and stand in solidarity with the families that we are going to hear tonight, and even the families that we don't even know about, or that we're not going to hear tonight, but just stand in solidarity. If you want to say positive thoughts, we want it all. Only positive vibes, only. So I'm gonna look at the time real quick, and I'm so glad we got our hour back. I'm living in heaven right now. So the time now is 8:16. So we're gonna do a mic check. Mic check. It's silence for 2 minutes. Thank you guys. Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you. So actually, there's been an announcement from one of the groups usually ceasefire. I don't know what they're currently all they're doing, but that we had gone for a week here in Baltimore without a killing. And that's great news. We do still have we have two names to uphold today though. One is a fellow who died a while back, but his name was not released until just recently, and that is Paul Bertnazzi.
Paul Bertnazzi.
And then, of course, we want to lift up today, killed by police here in Baltimore, Hunter Jessup.
Hunter Jessup.
Thank you.
Mic check.
Mic check.
The national list of police murderers only covers from 10:30 to 11:02. And there's 3 names. Well, there's 2 names and an unknown. So, on October 30th, a 21-year-old in it looks like Tok, Alaska. Timothy Thomas.
Timothy Thomas.
On November 1st, 27-year-old in Swayze, Indiana, Brandon Decker.
Brandon Decker.
On November 2nd, In Calabasas, California, this person is not, their age isn't known and the name isn't known. The cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe. Mic check.
So again, I want to thank each and every last one of you for joining us, wherever you joined us in line or in person. If you just stopped and you might have been like driving by, walking by, and you just stopped and gave your time. And, excuse me for like sometimes my emotions be coming in and out because I'm very compassionate about everything that I do. So don't judge me, judge my pain. And if you can live with this type of pain and survive through it, that speaks a lot of my character. So, and I'm sorry that I posted the West Wednesday, like, because I always post, like, like pictures and things of that nature. And I try to do it, like, early in the morning, but I apologize because at work, I had, like, back-to-back teacher parent conferences all day long. Like, I was sitting there eating my lunch, like, when I had, like somewhere in person, like most of mine were in person, but half were on the phone. So I got a chance to like kind of nibble on my lunch. And everybody know I'm greedy. I love eating, but anyway, I just want to thank each and every last one of you. And then I'm glad that there was no reported murders or anything in a week. But again, this is not the West Coalition. This is me, Tawanda Jones, speaking from my heart. I don't believe all these murders, and I will never believe all these unsolved murders are us. Like in between, yeah, some of them, yeah, I get it. But all these unsolved murders where street, like when people used to have street rules, whereas though you don't murder children, you don't murder women and old folks. There's no street rules no more. Like everybody's getting it. It's a bunch of women, children, everybody's getting murdered. So I honestly, this is my opinion. It's not the West Coalition. This is me. I don't think we're doing that. So they need to find out who is.
Police here. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Police are
Like,
doing
say
it.
that again. Say it again.
Police.
They are the killers. They are the robbers. And like I said, I feel sorry for the very few good men and women that are in uniform that really take their job serious. But if you see someone committing a crime and let them get away with it, you are just like them. You're just as guilty as them. And next week we will have my friend who is a firefighter. I'm going to bring him. He's going to join us live at West Ramsey, and we're still, showing our sorrow. We're still sending condolences to the two firefighters. I'm sorry, guys. To the two fire. I'm not used to it being turned around this way. Uncle Bill. Blaming you. But anyway, but we're still mourning the loss of two heroes. It's sad, it's disgusting. No one want to really talk about them. They should be talking about that's what we should be hearing constantly on the news over and over again about these men who lost their life that are the real heroes. And when they walk into these fires and these homes, they don't know if they ever going to see their family again. They just say, you know what, I'm gonna let this whole bad boy burn down, but they choose to go in there and save lives. They are the true heroes. So my heart goes out, and we will have a hero in person. A hero in person. And he look good, y'all. So I get in trouble. But anyway, see you guys. Remember, live to love, love to live. I love you all.